So we move into the 1980s, and I happened to move to a Caribbean country called the Bahamas. And the cuisine nouvelle had caught up around the world, so things were very light, highly flavored, and this dish was typical of this light format of a salad, but very traditionally it was made in the Bahamas with this amazing product called conch. You see that? And this is the flesh that we discussed this morning that came out of the shell, yes? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a salad. And what I do is I add the conch completely and absolutely raw. And then I add a kind of combination of nice peppers, red, green, and yellow. Follow me? Now the seasoning of this is very, very, very important. I'm going to take a little bit of red onion that I've kind of pickled, and I'm just going to mix this conch up very gently. And then I'm going to add a little bit of citrus. Yeah? So I'm going to add a tiny bit of lemon and a tiny bit of lime. And then I'm going to add this incredible pepper. This is a Scotch bonnet pepper, and it's extremely hot, yes? 200 times hotter than a jalapeno. So you have to be extremely careful with it. And what I've done is I have literally poached it in a little lemon, a little lime, and a little sherry. So this is my pepper sherry, and the pepper sherry goes right into my salad. And it's normally served along with this if you want it to be a little bit more spicy. And this can be extremely spicy. So the one thing that's wonderful about this plate is the colors. This conch salad is very, very, very refreshing. Obviously raw, it tastes wonderful. So we're going to take a little bit of creamed coconut and drop the creamed coconut right there. And then we're going to take our lovely salad and we're going to extend it down on the plate, making sure that it's very, very visible. Now you can see how absolutely incredibly beautiful that is. Obviously it needs a little tiny bit of green, so we're going to take a little bit of arugula. Actually, no. Let's take a little bit of watercress. And this watercress is just spectacular in flavor, and it's going to do a lot for our plate. See that? And then I have a little bit of my sweet soy. This is just a tiny bit of sweet soy sauce, just to give it a little tiny bit of sweetness. There we go. And then finally, for those who dare, a little tiny habanero. Remember the sugar in the sherry and the acid in the lime and lemon? It's going to pull a lot of that spice out. So this now is really, really edible, yeah? Isn't that a pretty plate though? Really beautiful and very, very reminiscent of the 1980s. Now we move into the 1990s with our next dishes, but here we are celebrating the college 100 years, and we're in the 80s. All right, and we made some for us to try, so let's get going.